Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about In the Blink of an Eye. I was fortunate enough to see this film at Sundance this year. It's a thoughtful and ambitious film, but it doesn't focus on spectacle. Instead, it's deeply concerned with one question that connects every human being who's ever lived. Why do we want to survive, and what makes survival meaningful? This film approaches that question in a really bold way by telling three interwoven stories across three different eras of humanity, one in the Neanderthal past, one in the present, and one in the future 400 years from now. Rather than functioning as a puzzle box narrative or a twist-driven sci-fi film, In the Blink of an Eye plays more like a philosophical meditation. It's about humanity's instinct to keep going, not just biologically, but emotionally, relationally, and spiritually. And while the movie doesn't always nail its execution, its ideas are strong enough that I walked away genuinely moved, and I heard a girl behind me talking about how it made her cry. This review will be spoiler-free, but I at least want to give you some context on the universal themes this movie shows. I love the three narratives in this movie. The ancient storyline follows a Neanderthal family navigating early human existence, illness, fear, childbirth, survival, and community. It's a stripped-down, primal look at what life was like before comfort, before modern medicine, before certainty. Yet it's also surprisingly warm and tender. The present-day storyline centers on a couple whose lives unfold over decades, beginning in early adulthood and continuing through parenthood and aging. This section explores ambition, sacrifice, caregiving, and the way that time slowly changes our priorities. The future storyline imagines a version of humanity that has pushed survival to its absolute limit. Genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, and the possibility of living forever. Again, what's important about these three plots is that there is no mystery to solve. The power from these stories comes from how these timelines echo each other emotionally, reinforcing the same themes from different angles. So let's talk about the themes. The theme of survival isn't shown in a traditional cinematic sense. It's not about fighting monsters, escaping disasters, or conquering nature. It's much quieter and more universal. As humans, we want to live, but more importantly, we want to live well. Across all three timelines, the film keeps returning to the same idea. Death is inevitable, but meaning is optional. What gives life its value isn't how long it lasts, but who we share it with and how fully we experience it. Tonally, the movie is gentle, reflective, melancholic, but not depressing. There's a steady undercurrent of hope running through it. Even in moments of loss or fear, the film consistently affirms the value of connection with family, friends, community, and shared experience. For a movie with a focus on human connection, I think all the actors do a good job. The stories star katemckinnon, rashidajones, Daveed Diggs, Jorge Vargas Jr., and several others, and their work is solid. That said, none of the performances truly blew me away. I don't say that as a knock against anybody individually. It's more a reflection on how restrained this movie feels. The acting, much like the cinematography and production design, is very controlled, very subdued, and very intentional. But that restraint is also what holds this film back from reaching the heights it was aiming for. In short, the performances are solid, grounded, and believable, but they don't transcend in a way that feels unforgettable. Similarly, the cinematography is clean and polished, but very safe. The production design across all three timelines works on a functional level, yet it often feels a little bit understated, almost minimalist, especially with how massive the ideas of this movie are. I don't think the film needed bombast or spectacle, but I do think a bolder visual language or more expressive performances could have elevated this movie emotionally. In a way, it feels like the film is constantly holding itself back, opting for subtlety when a bit more texture, greater visual ambition might have helped it truly soar. Again, I want to be clear, all of the aspects of this film are good, but they're just good when they could have been amazing. The music, on the other hand, is very effective. It leans heavily into emotional and reflective tones, and it does a great job of tying the timelines together. It never overpowers the scenes, but it consistently reinforces the film's sense of longing, passage of time, and emotional continuity. The sound design is solid, but not standout. It works, but it's not something that I walked away thinking about. Instead, I think the pacing of the movie is where most viewers will be divided. The first half of In the Blink of an Eye is deliberately paced, taking its time to establish each storyline. I appreciated this patience. It allowed me and the audience to settle into the rhythms of each era. As the film moves towards its climax, the editing becomes more rapid, cutting frequently between timelines. Thematically, this works. It reinforces the idea that all lives across all times are connected. Emotionally, though, it can be slightly distancing. Some major life transitions happen quickly, and while that reflects the reality of how time feels as we age, it can blunt the emotional payoff of certain moments. Still, I understand the choice. The film isn't trying to let us sit in the individual moments forever. It's reminding us how fast everything passes. I wanted to bring this up because I think some people might like the pacing and others may not. In the Blink of an Eye is a meaningful film. It's thoughtful, sincere, and deeply human, even when its restrained performances and safe visual choices keep it from reaching above the emotional heights it's aiming for. Still, the ideas at the heart of this film stuck with me long after the credits rolled. It's our story about survival, not as an act of defiance against death, but as a commitment to connection, love, and meaning while we're here. It reminds us that living forever isn't the goal, living well is. And even if this movie doesn't quite soar, it lingers in a quiet, reflective way that I really appreciated. While I may never watch this movie again, In the Blink of an Eye is absolutely worth watching once when it streams on Hulu on February 27th. If you value humanity, time, and reflection, do not miss it. Thank you for listening to my review of In the Blink of an Eye. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the video, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego, and I will see you next time.